Good to have you back with us here on Ed Schultz and commentary on this Wednesday edition. This is what the president said. TPP will open markets, protect workers and the environment, and advance American leadership in Asia. I don't doubt the fact that it might advance leadership in Asia, but it's not going to protect workers. It's not going to protect the environment. And the markets that he's talking about opening up are the ones on Wall Street, where rich investors can prey off cheap labor overseas, which would undercut American workers. That's it. He also said with TPP, China doesn't set the rules in that region. We do. You want to show our strength in this century? Approve this agreement. Get us the tools to enforce it. Lori Wallach, Director of Public Citizens Global Trade Watch. Good to have you with us. Your thoughts on how the president pitched it last night?
Well, I think there are two things that are worth noting. One is he literally spent 28 seconds in his over an hour-long speech on what is ostensibly his top priority for 2016. And those 28 seconds, that's a bigger number than the number of members of Congress who stood up to cheer for it when he delivered that line. It is indicative of how the American public is not buying the sales pitch. The polling shows Americans know this agreement will lead to more American jobs being offshored to low-wage countries. Americans, the polling shows, recognize that this agreement, by pitting Americans against workers in Vietnam making less than 65 cents an hour, will push down all of our wages.
Lori, you think the president knows all this, and that's why he only spent 28 seconds on it to save face? He's got to get this thing out of the way and be done with it? What do you think?
Well, the thing I've noticed in all of the research data is the more people hear about the TPP, the less they like it. So my suspicion, and we'll know more today in the next couple of days because the entire cabinet is fanning out to do a sales job post-State of the Union, so we'll see if they're more quietly talking about TPP. But my suspicion is they are still full priority to try and pass this, but they realize there's no upside talking about it publicly. Because here's Ed, what I found yesterday. The White House was sending out emails announcing, say, the Ag Secretary and other folks doing calls with local chambers of commerce, local farm bureaus. Even though the president realizes this agreement's such a loser for most Americans and people are onto it, he doesn't want a big advertisement about it. They are doing the work to the interests that are going to be trying to get Congress to vote it. And the other piece that happened is in a briefing for press before the speech, the White House press secretary said their goal was to have this done and passed before Congress left Washington for the election. So that would be June.
Yeah. Isn't going to happen. I don't see it. I mean,
from your mouth to God's ears.
Well,
and we know what their arguments are after last night. And I just want to flag that whole point you raised about leadership in Asia. Because here's the perverse thing. That argument, the foreign policy argument's the one they always make as the last resort when all the economic arguments are failing. And after you look and see what, for instance, happened with the free trade agreement with Korea, where our trade deficit is almost doubled, and we have seen our exports drop, and we see jobs go away, they want to change the topic. And so it's kind of like China's like a distraction. Squirrel, look over there. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, Ed, I've now spent a lot of quality time digging through the actual text of the agreement. China didn't have to be in the room. All the U.S. corporations, those 500 advisors, they wrote the damn agreement for China. Listen, without China having to give a single concession, under TPP, they could get cars duty-free into the U.S. with more than majority China content. There are no limits on their currency cheating. So when they cheat on currency, they still are beating our butts through third countries like Vietnam.
Yeah. There's no question about it. We just got to keep the momentum going, and I think the president, in a sense, capitulated last night, knowing that he had to mention it because it's something that he wants, but he also knows it doesn't deserve any more than 30 seconds because there's a real good chance he's going to end up getting embarrassed on this. This will destroy a lot of good that what his administration and his work has done if this goes through, and we'll have to live with it for years. It will restructure our economy. It will be the death knell of the middle class. and we will become a two-class system in this country, the wealthy and the dirt poor. And I mean it. And
that's
you can
spot
kiss,
on.
That's where we're going to be. Lori Wallach, we're not done talking about this. Great to visit with you, and we will do it again. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Ed Schultz, News and Commentary. Communication Workers of America, Alliance for American Manufacturing, BioGreen Clean, and the iSave team sponsor this production. From the Center for American Progress, Washington, D.C., we're back tomorrow.